And we are live. How y'all doing today, everybody? It is Cash Sports. I'm here. I'm back. I'm ready. And I am excited. Because y'all already know, man, yesterday it went down. NFL kickoff just kicked off with the Los Angeles Rams and Buffalo Bills facing off. And I would say a pretty surprising outcome, if I may say so myself. Sorry, I've kind of been slacking on the videos, or at least streaming as of late. But I got life, man. I go through things, my own things. As of right now, this is not my current or my main occupation. But slowly and surely, I'm trying to get there. So I can only stream, whenever I can. But I do try to do as much as possible. If my day is kind of laid out better, then I can stream that day. But as of right now, let's not worry about that, man. Let's talk some goddamn football, because that's what we here for. And I don't even want to. Keep it on hold for just a little bit. But before I do that, please like and subscribe to Cash Sports Podcast, because I would graciously appreciate it. It would help. It would help out the platform. Please. So I could do these a hell of a lot more. Then we can start having some really deep conversations on these debates, man, because I do got some takes. I do want to talk about a couple things. Rams and Bills faced off yesterday. Boy, oh boy, I did not expect that to happen. The Rams got slaughtered, right? They still managed to put up some points. It was 31-10. But even then, did they really have a chance after they had scored that third touchdown in the second half? And the Rams managed to tie the game by 10 by halftime. So going into the half, it looked okay. But just watching the game offensively, or at least for the Bills offensively, it seems that Josh Allen was just able to just have his way. We know with the Bills, it's typically a one-man offense with Josh Allen leading the helm. But obviously, you got Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs. They're obviously probably the best combination of the two that helps Josh Allen in this offense, because they're both exceptional receivers, right? And so right now, it's looking like the Bills, there's a very good reason why they're the number one team to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, right? And so let's go down the stats. Let's go down the stat line so we can at least get a breakthrough, and then we can talk about it from there, because I don't want to just keep throwing out numbers and just saying whatever. Let's bring these numbers up. Boom, boom. Okay, so right here, right? So we're looking at the box score. Y'all checking it out, man. It's if y'all was watching the game, you probably have a good idea of what happened. So this is clearly from Pro Football Focus, and as we can see, Josh Allen, man, he threw two picks. He threw two picks in the first half. I know one of them wasn't his fault, and then the second one was just kind of a bad throw. And then Matthew Stafford, man, he did not have a great game. He didn't. There was a lot of news during training camp, as it pertains to his elbow, whether he was going to be whether he's going to be healthy or not. And then there were still questions during the offseason on Matthew Stafford's career, whether he was going to be a Hall of Famer from this moment on. And I adamantly said, even though Matthew Stafford is a great and fantastic quarterback, Richard Sherman made a very valid point by bringing up the fact that Matthew Stafford doesn't really have MVPs, All Pros, or not that many Pro Bowls, and we know he has the talent and the ability to do so, but these injuries keep holding him up, and this is the worst time. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it's the worst time. This is the best time to have an injury. This is the beginning of the season, so you still have some times for error. You can. In the NFL season, you can go through the whole September effing up. You could go 0-4 and then finish the season turning the whole thing around. You get what I'm saying? So So nothing to worry about as of just yet. But we're gonna get into some things that the Rams should be worried about as I was watching this game. So let's bring this up a little bit more. I think this is a better view anyway. Rushing, I was looking at rushing particularly well, and I was thinking about rushing. And like the Bills, honestly, they're really just going from where they were last year. I mean, Josh Allen, like I said, is the motor, literally, for this Buffalo Bills offense. He passes, he runs, he makes plays with his feet, he extends plays and things of that nature, right? So he even got 56 yards rushing on the ground on 10 carries, averaging 5.6 yards per carry, and then also getting in that touchdown, which we know did the Space Jam stretch over Bobby Wagner, who recently just signed with the Los Angeles Rams, right? And then we know with the Rams, rushing on their end was pretty mediocre. They couldn't get the rushing game off. The Rams line was being disseminated. I mean, Matthew Stafford he got sacked 7 times in that game. I mean, it's Matthew Stafford, especially at a point where he is in his career. You can't be taking, no quarterback can be sacked 7 times and still win this game. And you see the type of effect that Von Miller has on this Buffalo Bills team. I mean, if you go back to last year, even though the Buffalo Bills didn't win the Super Bowl or didn't even get to the Super Bowl, they had the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense, right? So that's something we got to take into effect. And Von Miller was a very good piece to add to that defense. So they only gotten better, which is the reason why they are Super Bowl candidates, right? So what I wanted to bring up on the Rams side is where they do have to be worried about. But, I was watching a couple sports shows and, I listened to a couple football players. So but it does make sense, right? Is the fact that they can't keep getting bullied like that on the front line. We already know with the NFL, when it comes to skill players ain't shit unless you have an offensive line, point blank period. If your guy's not blocking, if your quarterback does not have time to throw, you ain't going to make no plays. It's not going to happen. And that's exactly what was happening with Matthew Stafford. And that's why he threw 3 picks, right? We know he's not going to do that every game. We know Matthew Stafford is going to get better as the year goes on. But that line, man, they got to get better because we do know the Rams center is injured right now. So there's a lot of questions. Running back, you can figure something out with the running back, right? Wide receiver, hey, man, you gotta make do sometimes. But quarterback and line, that's something that has to stand firm, or at least on the offensive side of the ball. Because if you don't have at least a competent quarterback, game manager, or even a freaking superstar, and then if you don't have the line to complement him, everything's just gonna come rumbling down, right? So let's go to receiving yards. So receivings, Stephon Diggs, right? We know he had a very good game. He was targeted 9 times with 8 receptions, 122 receiving yards, and a touchdown. And then we also know about Gabriel Davis, right? Who was targeted 5 times, had 4 receptions for 88 yards, 17.6 yards per target, and a touchdown. And also Isaiah McKenzie also got a touchdown himself, right? So we know, so for anybody that was watching the game last year against Gabriel Davis, with Gabriel Davis against the Kansas City Chiefs, man, he had a crazy game. If I'm not mistaken, he probably had like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I know for a fact he had 3. I just can't remember if he had 4, but I know he had a monstrous game. So now that you see, we already know what Stephon Diggs is made of, right? But now that you got Gabriel Davis, emerging, we could be looking at another star receiver really coming up and really doing his thing here. Because in that last playoff game with the Kansas City Chiefs, Stephon Diggs did not play well, right? We need to remember that. And we know what type of superstar he is. But now we're about to see Josh Allen create another all-pro, or possibly an all-pro, more than likely a Pro Bowl wide receiver, right? And then so for the Rams, nothing new there. Even though Matthew Stafford wasn't on his A game, he was pretty persistent in getting Cooper Kupp the ball. Now, just with this whole Matthew Stafford thing, I just think really the core of it all is really the line. They couldn't get anything off the line, but I don't think the Rams are going to be having this issue all year long. I think they are going to have some line issues, because it shouldn't have been that bad. And not to mention your center is injured, so that is a very big thing. But honestly, I really think Matthew Stafford had a bad elbow. Maybe he, just in the heat of things, you're going against a really good defense. I mean, the Bills' defense, it's not like any other defense. It's not like, just middle of the pack defense. This is what's the number one defense last year, right? So we have to take that into effect. That matters, right? It's no excuse for Matthew Stafford. It's an excuse for me, though. I can bring it up. But, but yeah, man, it looked like Matthew Stafford was really trying to force the ball to Cooper Kupp. And so it became predictable. You sign Allen Robinson. You gotta be able to get some more targets toward your wide receiver who you just paid. Right? All right. So at least that was the stats for the Rams versus Bills. Right? Let me get this out here. So at least that was the stats for the Rams versus the Bills. And we saw, man, it was pretty lopsided. But it was still, for me, it was a pretty exciting game. I missed football, man. It was the NFL kickoff. It wasn't last year with the Cowboys and the Bucks, which are faced to go against each other on Sunday night, right? And I'm excited. We excited to see. That's one of my points for the games that we're going to be looking out for on Sunday, right? And I'm gonna be tuning in Sunday. I promise y'all. I promise I'm going to tune in on Sunday. All right. I ain't working. I ain't doing nothing on Sunday. I'm trying to just watch football, right? And so, right, this game, it set the tone for the Bills for sure. People were saying, was it because of good Bills or bad Rams? I'm gonna lean more towards bad Rams because, I mean, they're the Rams. They just won the Super Bowl. They're defending Super Bowl champions, right? What the Rams did yesterday, that wasn't just bad Rams. That was just bad football, period, right? And that just needs to be acknowledged. You just got to say it flat out. When you play a sport like football, man, you just got to go out. You just got to acknowledge when you get your ass kicked. Real talk. When you play football, you have to acknowledge the times when you just get fucked up, get your ass kicked. You just gotta take your dues, man. And for the Rams, it just so happened that yesterday it happened against the Buffalo Bills, right? And this situations like this can occur. It happens. It's only week 1, and the Rams, they're going against the Falcons next week, so I'll see them losing that game, right? But this game was extremely important for the Buffalo Bills because they had to make a statement starting off week 1 against the defending Super Bowl champs. They had to set the tone. They had to go into the season looking like they're in charge because a lot of people are hyping up these Buffalo Bills now. And I understand they have a really good team. Josh Allen is a wonderful player, wonderful quarterback. Got Stephon Diggs, right? Gabriel Davis, you got Von Miller, you got Tre'Davious White, who's not playing right now, but essentially will be playing again and is one of the best corners in the league, right? So all this stuff, man, it's almost very identical to the Rams. It's almost very identical. They have almost every piece, or they have every piece. And so all this, right, is coming together for the Bills. Now, let's not make this mistake. But Josh Allen has a shit ton of pressure on the board. I'm talking about a lot because right now you could be on your high horse. This one win was great, but I wouldn't even say having 3 straight losses, even mean something because we know they're gonna make the playoffs. But for the Bills, it's now or never. There ain't no more 4 straight Super Bowls. This ain't that time. Right now, the Buffalo Bills need to go to at least the AFC Championship game. Right? I need somebody to agree with me, man. I do. Because I know I'm not tripping. I feel the same way. I think most of y'all would feel the same way. Y'all got them going to the Super Bowl. Right? So bare minimum, they should be going to an AFC Championship game. Right? So for anybody tuning in, man, please like and subscribe to the platform. I would graciously appreciate it. Hit that notification button if you want some more Cash Sports. Not just Cash Sports, man. If you want some football, you want some basketball, you want some boxing, man, we do it all. We do it all, man. All right, so I want to get into the next topic. I want to get into the next thing, and it's still about the Rams and Bills. Something that needs to be pointed out, which is making headlines, or that's been the talk of the day, is hold on. You know what? No, I can't find it, but you know what? I'm just gonna say it. So I'm going to talk about Jalen Ramsey. So Jalen Ramsey, right, is a phenomenal quarterback, one of, if not the best quarterback in the league. Honestly, he's still the top quarterback in my book, right? As of right now, I still need a lot. I mean, he just won a Super Bowl. He hasn't had a great couple games as of late, and I do have some type of stat to prove that, or even talk about it. But in this game alone, with the Bills and Rams, Jalen Ramsey allowed a perfect passer rating of 158.3 in week 1. Right, so he allowed Josh Allen to have. I mean, I don't know how passer ratings exactly go when it comes to specifically one type of secondary or one type of defensive back. But he was targeted 7 times, allowing 6 receptions for 124 yards and 2 TDs, man. That does not sound like the top cornerback in my book, right? So, but I still do feel that way. What up, bro? David G. What's up, man? How you doing? I'm just talking about yesterday's game. But if you tune in, please like and subscribe to the platform, man. I'll graciously appreciate it. All right. Yeah. And then so here's another thing that I want to tell you guys too. So Jalen Ramsey has allowed a deep TD in 4 of the last 6 games, right? Including playoffs. Ramsey has gone the previous 65 games without allowing a single one. Right? So this is so uncharacteristic. Like, this is not something in Jalen Ramsey's DNA, right? We've seen in the Super Bowl what happened with Jalen Ramsey against Jamar Chase. You could say that Jamar Chase had gotten the upper hand on Brody. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna say it like this: Jalen Ramsey was the worst part of the Rams yesterday. He was getting worked. He was being targeted. Stephon Diggs had probably, he had a great week 1, right? And I'm not gonna fault that. I'm not gonna look at it as if Jalen Ramsey's, his fall from grace, I may say. But that is something we do got to pay attention to, because for the 4 out of the 6 games you've given up a deep TD. I mean, that's consecutive now. That's like on some Trayvon Diggs type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still make a play, but you gotta, you can't keep allowing that, man. So just with that information, with that context, with 65 games, you haven't allowed any deep TD pass, and now you've allowed consecutive deep TD passes. I just think Jalen Ramsey right now is just looking at himself in the mirror, and he's just like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I might be doing a little bit too much. Maybe try to go back to certain basics and maybe there were probably some blown coverages too. Miscommunication, because we know it's secondary. It's always about communication. These top guys playing at the top of the field on the defensive end, they got to be talking, because when you're talking about coverage, zone coverage, right? Then you got to be able to communicate with the guys up top, unless you're going man to man. I mean, there was a lot of times he was getting beat man to man, and then the situation where he had where Stephon Diggs had scored at the top. Right, that was blown coverage. That was blown zone coverage. We didn't know if either the safety was going to come out and help. All we know is that Stephon Diggs was able to just run right past Jalen Ramsey. Right? And so that's just something I just wanted to bring up, just to point out here. Once again, y'all, please like and subscribe to CashSports Podcast, man. I would graciously appreciate it. So let me bring up something else. So things to look out for. So with football starting up week 1 officially, for the other games, it's gonna start Sunday, so it's gonna be a ton of games, man. Tons of games. I'm here, I'm ready for it, man. I'm excited, I can't wait for it. So let's point out the games that I think, man, is gonna be really exciting with this week, on games that I think everybody should be really looking out for. So the games that people should be looking out for, in my opinion, is I'm gonna start from the top. Bucks and Cowboys, man. They gotta do it. That's a game that it's Sunday night. We're gonna be tuning in. Everybody's gonna be tuning in. But that game right there, I'm especially gonna be tuning into that game to see what Dak Prescott is made of. We've also on the Bucks end, Todd Bowles is the head coach for the Bucks now. He used to be the head coach for the New York Jets, and I thought he did a good to decent job, considering the fact that the Jets are poo-poo. And then so Bruce Arians got promoted to the top, so we know that now Tom Brady is going through a lot of other things, and it's so I just know that this is going to be a really different year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and so that's why I think this is going to be a very interesting game. And then the Cowboys is always the Cowboys. You always got to look out for the Cowboys. Not in a way where you should be scared or anything like that. Like, nobody should ever fear the Cowboys. But, real talk, man. It's going to be a great game. Let me hit these comments up, though, real quick. Doing well, bro. David G, man. Doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. Powell. I hope I'm saying your name right. What's up, bro? Like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe, please. I'll even give y'all a little comment back. All right. So another game that we should look out for. This is gonna be my sleeper pick. Oh, and by the way, I got the Bucks slaughtering the Cowboys. Subbed. I got the Bucks slaughtering the Cowboys, right? I got that game. I'm gonna try to be really realistic here with my prediction. Actually, let me bring up these odds too, man. Come on, man. Y'all gotta remind me to bring up them odds. I can't be sitting out here looking crazy. Y'all got me out here with no betting odds out, and I'm over here talking about some games. Come on, man. Y'all gotta check me, man. I gotta make sure I'm on my shiz. Subbed. I don't know what you mean, pal. I don't know what you mean by that. There you go. Week one. You know what? I'm gonna just bring it up on here. Right now, it be on some BS. here. It's quicker here. Okay, all right. So I'm looking at NFL bets. I'm only gonna be talking about them. So the games I particularly want to talk about, or the key games that I think are key games for this week. So I mentioned the Bucks and the Cowboys, right? Oh yeah, my score. So I got the Bucks winning against the Cowboys, 42-16. All right, 42-16. I think that's a good assessment of just with everything going on, right? The Cowboys and just how good they are with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott is running back. I think this game truly, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna go down to the wire with the Cowboys having the ball in the last possession, being down 13-42, and then the Cowboys are making a comeback. They're gonna try to make some plays down the field to finally kick a field goal and then make it 16-42. So that is my final score. That is my final score right there. Cowboys, the Bucks beat the Cowboys 42-16. All right. Don't put no money on that though. Yeah, I would bet the Bucks win. I'm not betting the Cowboys, even though it is a good bet, because more than likely I know the fact that they are underdogs. Let me check this out. Where they at? No, right there. Yeah. So the spread, the Bucks are negative 2.5 on the spread, negative 139 to win. Got Dak on my fantasy team. I'm cheering for him. Dak will definitely put up some numbers. I'm glad you Dak is on my fantasy team. I'm cheering for him. I think he's gonna put up numbers though. All jokes aside, like I know I was effing around on that take. Like, I'm being honest now. I think honestly I would take that bet for the Bucks to still win this game, regardless. I just think the Bucks it's gonna be a lot. And you know what? Micah Parsons is going to have a really good game. I think he does have a really good game. But with that being said, I still think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they come out on top. I say realistically, I win by a touchdown. I say just a touchdown. But Dak Prescott, the Bucs are not really known for having the best secondary anyway. So I know Dak will be able to put up numbers, but I'm not looking at Dak to produce numbers. I think that what's most important for Dak to be able to succeed. Oh yeah, for sure. But in order for Dak to be able to succeed, or for the Cowboys to be successful, they need to run the football. Dak Prescott throwing for 30 to 40 times in the game, it's not going to happen. You are not going to win shit with Dak Prescott throwing 30, 40 times a game. It'll look nice. It'll look pretty. You'll probably you'll beat some scrubs. But you got to run the football. Establish that run. But, hey, man, don't listen to me. Let's get back to this comment. Michael Parsons is going to have a great year. Absolutely. Michael Parsons will have a fantastic year. I think he's going to have a great career. I regret the fact that the Giants did not pick him up, but I think we do have a good pickup in Thibodeau. Hopefully I said his name right. Kayvon Thibodeau on the Giants. And so I'm just hoping, man, he can produce. I know he's not going to be able to play week 1, but there's no shot for my Giants, man. I don't know what to talk about that. All right, so next game that I want to talk about is the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. Now, we know what this matchup is always like, right? Miami Dolphins has always been a team that's given the Patriots some work, always giving them some problems in the future, right? And so now we know that the Miami Dolphins are a team that are looking to truly contend. They have a new coach and Mike McDaniels, and then now they have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They have one of the fastest, if not the fastest, fasting receiving core in the NFL, right? And so right now, man, the Miami Dolphins, they're really looking to bank in on Tua, and it looks as if the Dolphins were to even have a glimmer of failure, even a sense of shit in their record, we're putting everything on Tua. If they even lose one game on the 500, I bet everything is gonna be Tua's fault. I'm not saying that's what I would say. I'm just saying that's how it's gonna go. Right? We already know it's going down that way, man. It's going down that way for sure. I don't need Hawkeye vision or some shit to know it's gonna go down in that direction. But yeah, man. And so for the Patriots, you already know with Mac Jones, right, going into the sophomore slump. A lot of QBs feel like their sophomore year is tougher than their freshman year, or than their rookie year, right? So with Mac Jones, man, with the whole play calling situation, you got Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as the coordinators. Honestly, I don't know what to expect from the Patriots. I really don't. But we'll have to see. Let me hit a comment real quick. Good looking out, Void. You already know, man. Giving that thumbs up, man. Appreciate it. Right? Appreciate it. Always giving that love. Let me hit that comment though. So yeah, Tua has lots of pressure because of Tyreek Hill. Absolutely, man. I agree. Tyreek Hill, I mean, in a way, I know he was trying to bump him up. He was trying to cheer on his guy. He was trying to, pump him up. Says, hey, he's more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Hell with that, bruh. Tua ain't no Patrick Mahomes, bruh. Get that out of here. Yeah, man, that man was on something. I think Tyreek Hill, that man need to be drug tested to say some shit like that. Real talk, man. More than Tyreek Hill, yeah, get out of here, bro. You had plenty of opportunity to do that. But with Tua, I still think he's a good quarterback. Just being accurate is still enough for you to be in the league. It's just we've seen Tyreek Hill, not necessarily not Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry, I know I'm mixing his names up. I know with Tua, he has been heavily critiqued in the past, but you know what? I think at this point, we have to look at this guy and give him the benefit of the doubt. There was a lot going on with the Miami Dolphins. Even though Brian Flores I think was a good coach and could have done something with Tua if given the chance. But we'll have to see. We'll have to really necessarily see how this situation plays out. So the next matchup, right? Let's bring that matchup up. Let's bring the betting odds. Well, come on, man. Do not let me forget to tell y'all about these betting odds for each game. Every game I bring up, man, any event I bring up, ask me about the betting odds. Do not let me forget. I know y'all looking at me like, man, do your fucking job. You do it. Remind yourself. All right, so Washington, right? Washington. So the Miami Dolphins are favored on the spread with negative 3.5, and to win it is 182. Right? So no surprise there. Miami Dolphins are a team known for giving the Patriots some work, and the Patriots are not particularly known for having a great start in the season. And I know the Dolphins are going to be looking to put up some, to do some dirt, to set a statement for the year. And then, not to mention, they lost J.C. Jackson, so they're going to be looking really slim here at the quarter in the secondary, in their defensive secondary. So No doubt about it, man. I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one. Even though Tua is a young quarterback, we know young quarterbacks don't do particularly well against a Bill Belichick defense nowadays, right? So we have to see. We have to see. But I'm gonna have to. I would pick the Dolphins with the negative 3.5 spread, and that's just how I'm gonna go, right? So next game on the list that you have to look out for is the Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Let me hit these comments up before I get into another spiel. So yeah, when I heard the Cheetah said Tua is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes, I thought I was tripping. The Patriots offseason was pretty good. I mean, I can't really say no to that, because I mean, I'm not at the camp, but you got to define what's good to me, because there were a lot of questions as it pertains to, the offensive play calling, just the personnel on the team. I mean, they have one of the highest paying receiving corps, and who's on the team. They traded away their first round pick in N'Keal Harry, who's a bust basically, but yeah, man, it's and they lost their best corner, or one of their best secondary players on defense, man. So honestly, and then on top of that, come on, bro. Oh no, you said it was pretty bad. Oh, I'm an idiot. My bad, man. Wow, that's funny. We were on different ends of the table, but we were speaking on each other's ends. I don't know, it was weird, but no. It was pretty bad. No, you did say bad. Yeah, you did say bad. I'm true. But yeah, man, and then the fact that you have Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. I'm a Giants fan. I'll tell you right here and now, the Giants stink. We are going to stink this year, right? And a part of that was the head coach and Joe Judge. That man can talk now. That man can talk his ass off. That man will motivate you till the cows come home. But guess what? You ain't gonna win no freaking football games. I know that better than anybody. So, hey, man, I'm just keeping it real, bro. That's your. Is he the offensive coordinator? I think so. Yeah. So he's like offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia's the offensive coordinator, or he's the defensive coordinator, but he's calling plays. Looking rough for y'all Patriots fans, man. Hey, all that 2 decade long of success where you were able to win championships, have Tom Brady. Yeah, you pay your dues now. You see that? You paying your dues, right? So for all you Patriots fans, when you was winning for that long, right? When you had Tom Brady and y'all had those 5, right? Y'all had that those 6 championships, those 6 Super Bowls. You pay your dues now, man. Start over. You better be rooting hard for Mac Jones, man. Right? And so the odds for that game. Oh no, we was already talking about it. I was talking about the Steelers and Bengals. So Steelers and Bengals, man. I say, hey, look out. We gotta look out for this team. Either team. The Steelers, right, are clearly not going to be going anywhere down the stretch. But I am convinced on Kenny Pickett. I do think he's a decent or good enough. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a really good quarterback. Football dynasty slump for the Patriots. Nah, for sure. So the Steelers, right? They have Mitchell Trubisky at the quarterback position. But another thing with the Steelers is just their line. We really do got to worry about this line. Just watching in the preseason, everybody's convinced otherwise. Everybody's looking at it like, hey, the Steelers are not looking too bright, at least in that spectrum. But the Steelers are still known for drafting fairly highly skilled players at the skill position. I mean, Kenny Pickett, right, who's set to probably take the mantle and has a lot of upside, but you still have Najee Harris, you have Chase Claypool, right? I don't know the second receiver for the Steelers on top of my head, but if anybody can drop that for me in the comments, then that would help. And then for the Bengals, right? We talking about the Bengals. We know about Joe Burrow. We know about T. Higgins. We know about Jamar Chase. We know about Joe Mixon. And then we know about Eli Apple. But with the Bengals, right? We already know that the Bengals can already put up numbers. They can do a lot of work. They can do damage. They're a Super Bowl contending team this year and for many years to come. But this week in particular, it would not surprise me if the Steelers win this game. It is a divisional round game. It is a game that we do have to look out for, right? Because of the fact it's a divisional round game. And so with that being said, right, it wouldn't surprise me if the Steelers won this game. You know, just coming out with a defensive mindset, because Mike Tomlin is a defensive coach. And so if he were to come out and this team is fired up, I could see the Steelers definitely winning this game. Right? Oh, man, this thing is like loading up. I'm trying to bring it up. It's slow as hell. And so the odds for this game is, right, so the Cincinnati Bengals are favored to win this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, being a negative 6.0 favorite on the spread with negative 3.0. With negative 303 to win. Odds to win, right? So the next game is the Chiefs and Cardinals. We already know about Patrick Mahomes. The whole thing, you know, he Tyreek Hill left, and then he still has Travis Kelce as his main receiver or his go-to guy, right? With the Chiefs, there is a lot of up and down as it pertains to, you know, what direction this team is going to go to or where they're going to be going this year, right? I gotta stick by my guns. I gotta speak up for it. But I do think the Kansas City Chiefs do not make the playoffs this year. And my reason for that is that I just think, I'm not saying they're gonna have a losing season, but I just think this division is way too close to call. And I just think Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers, I think personnel wise, roster wise, salary cap, I just think everything seems to just work out in the way it's supposed to, and it's just set for success, right? And so we already know with the Cardinals, with Kyler Murray, he got his new deal. He's probably doing some homework right now, as we know. And so it'll definitely be an interesting season. The Cardinals are definitely one of those teams who are looked at, who have a little radar on them. You know, they made some offseason news, with Cliff Kingsbury and the Kyler Murray contract, and giving him homework and assigning him film to study and stuff like that, right? Yeah, that was pretty funny. You know, it's pretty funny to sign a contract and then to sign something like that. You know, that's pretty crazy to me. Because we talk about, with the Cardinals looking bad or whatever, but let's be honest, bro. Kyler Murray, you look the worst out of this. Like, you signed a contract saying that you would be willing, that you would study 4 hours of film every day, or some shit like that. That's crazy. 4 hours of film? Like, it's not even like you were just watching, like just a regular football game. You know, you really got to study. You know, like you really got to study that motherfucker, son. So I mean, hey, man, it's gonna be funny. DeAndre Hopkins, he's back in the mix, right? I know he missed 6 games last year. So we're gonna see what this team is about, man. We're really gonna see. Now, hopefully, it's not about how the Cardinals start, but it's how they finish, right? Right. That's what's the odds for this? And so the Kansas City Chiefs is 6-point favorite on the spread with a negative 278 to win. All right, let me see what you said there, pal. Football dynasty, a slump for the Patriots. Absolutely, man. They definitely hit a slump. They are definitely in a slump. I mean, but all it is, man, all you have to do is just find a quarterback. Right now, Mac Jones is still in that threshold where you're trying to figure out if he's really that guy or not, you know. And then next matchup, right, is the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings, right? So the Green Bay Packers already know about everything that's happened with Aaron Rodgers. You know, with him either to retire or go away. He went to some sacred land and did ayahuasca and, meditated and did some rain dance and shit and became like a whole new person, right? But despite all that, he's still a 4-time league MVP. So we got to give it to him, right? So we already know Aaron Rodgers is going to have one hell of a season, right? Ain't nothing really to ask about there. But whenever you're going against whenever Aaron Rodgers goes against the Minnesota Vikings, I think this is a two-man race between these two teams, or a two-team race. Particularly, I think Vikings, even though the Vikings haven't been in the playoffs, or even if they were in the playoffs, they kind of get chopped off really early. I think this team has a good, decent enough defense. I think the offense is well stacked. They have a really good offense. But this team will only go as far as Kirk Cousins takes him. Captain Kirk, right? He needs to take him. He needs to be able to take this team farther. And it's going to be on his shoulders. We already know. It's always about quarterback play, man. It's always about quarterback play when it matters. You can have really great defense. I mean, shit, defense can take you just as far. But you still got to make plays, man. And when it matters, it's not about putting up numbers so it looks nice. You got to be able to do them dirty when it matters. You got to have a killer. You got to have that killer instinct. Feel me? All right, now. So, odds for this game is... And Justin Jefferson. Oh, I forgot to bring up Justin Jefferson too, man. A wide receiver who's looking to have, a really great and wonderful career. And I know I didn't bring up these guys earlier with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I like the fact that these two brothers went to the same college, and then now they're competing against each other in the league in terms of just in their position also. So that's also a great thing to see. And so the betting odds for this game is... So for the Packers, man, it's really close. The Packers are favored to win this by -1. And then on the spread, and then to win is -120. Right? So that is going to be a very close game. Honestly, it would not shock me if the Vikings win this game. I would be fine with taking the Vikings for week 1, to be honest with you. But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked to take the Packers neither. Because you can definitely see that the Packers, going off that poo-poo performance last year, I don't know what the hell that was, but whatever it was, wasn't football. It wasn't football they were playing. They're playing frisbee or some shit out there in the cold. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers playing frisbee or something. I don't know, lingerie football. In the last game, man, is another divisional round matchup that I am excited to see. Is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers, right? I'm gonna come out and say it. The Los Angeles Chargers are my AFC pick to represent the AFC, right? And the division, right? And so with Justin Herbert and these guys, man, I just think they're gonna be it's gonna be one heck of a game, especially with the Raiders, right? The Raiders, they just got Devontae Adams and Derek Carr for the better part is a really good quarterback, in my opinion. He has since he's been drafted, he's had the most wins as an underdog, which I find to be extremely impressive. Not to mention, Chandler Jones also is on the defense for the Raiders too. So they just up their defense and their offense. And not to mention, you got Hunter Renfrow, who had over 100 receptions last year. So I heard today some people talk about Derek Carr, and then they were saying some things, right? With Derek Carr being elite and things of that nature, and the fact that he would have to prove it. There's a lot more to prove with Derek Carr, and they're absolutely right. We can't just keep talking about this guy like, he's a tier 1 quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's a great quarterback, but there is a lot more to prove. That 2016 or whatever, that year where Derek Carr was an MVP candidate, that was a long time ago. And so we need to see a playoff win. Last year he came pretty close, but it wasn't enough. You got to win it. We already know how it is, man. NFL, not for long. Right? And so the odds for that game is the Chargers being the favorite, with the spread being negative 3.5 and negative 182 to win. Right? So that at least concludes my segments on what I was talking about today as it pertains to football. I am so glad that the NFL kickoff is commenced. We officially have football. And guess what? Tomorrow is college football too. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be on it. All right. Hopefully I could be able to squeeze in another stream later today. If not, I'm definitely going to try to put one out tomorrow. I do have some job tomorrow, man, so just work with me, man. That's why I say if you guys are on CashSports podcast, man, stay on top of the shorts, content, because even if I might not be able to live stream every day, because I live stream whenever I can, but I drop shorts every single day to make sure I'm still putting out information, I'm still putting out content, just so I know that I'm still feeding y'all, because y'all hungry, man. Y'all want something every day. I already know. Trust me. Let's tap into this comment, though. So the Cardinals are going to be interesting this year. I'm excited for Rondale Moore. Honestly, I mean, they were exciting the past couple years. In my opinion, I thought they were exciting last year. They just sucked in the second half of the year, bro. That's really the problem, is that they just weren't good near the end of the season. That's just something we've seen. So they could be interesting in the first half. Remember, I think they started out maybe 9-0, 8-0, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. And then they lost. They lost to the Green Bay Packers with that AJ Brown or AJ Green meltdown or whatever. I think he was something was going on. Wasn't playing football though. His head wasn't in the game, that's for sure. But with the Cardinals, man, they're in a tough division as is when you really think about it. I mean, you're going against the defending Super Bowl champs. You're going against the San Francisco 49ers, right, who clearly have Super Bowl aspirations and ambitions. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I mean, think about it. Last year, you had 3 teams from that division make it to the playoffs. That division, if I'm not mistaken, was it the NFC North? The NFC West, right? That in itself is a very hard division, man. It's extremely hard. But I agree with you though, pal, that the Cardinals are a team that need to be looked at, because right now Kyler Murray he's a dog. I think he's a dog. He's a really good player, and he's actually last year he was the second most accurate quarterback behind Joe Burrow last year. So that is something to look at. It's not like everybody's saying Kyler Murray is trash, but he definitely does need to come up big in these later in the season, because it's not going to keep being accepted. You can only go so far with losing, but winning would take you anywhere, right? Cash Sports. All right, man. So if anybody wants to drop any more comments as it pertains to any sport, anything, I'm still here for a little bit. Ding 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 ding. All right, man. All right, though. But if y'all still tuning in, please like and subscribe to CashSports Podcast, man. I know y'all see that Cash App at the bottom. It is optional to donate, but I'm not squeezing wrists. I'm not penny pinching, right? Give what you can. I just want to let you guys know that I do this because, one, I love sports. I love football. I love basketball. I just love sport. I love watching sport. Gives me a reason to connect with different people. Gives me a reason to spark up conversation, and just being able to connect and network with a shit ton of people, right? And so this isn't my primary job, but one day I would hope to keep doing this as much as possible, or whenever I want. But right now, it's just necessarily isn't the case. But if you guys stick with me, man, this where I am trying to take this as far as I can take it. Trust me, believe it, I am. But for the most part, I'm working my ass off here. So if you talk about the process, you're looking at a process. Real talk, man. Once again, I thank all for tuning in to the Cash Sports Podcast. Once again, like and subscribe and hit that notification button. So for whenever I go live again, you guys can tune in. Thank you all once again. This is Cash Sports. Peace out.